So recently, I've been thinking about how fast everything seems to be moving by. And I know that it's just a part of growing up and that everything going on just passes by and nothing is ever final and fully just there for a very long time. Um, and growing up is scary. This time passing by feels like I'm just losing out on so much and it's just like gone. I've spent so much time hating on some people where I could have spent that time doing better things for the world. And I feel guilty about that a little bit because now I'm in a better mental state that I can see that that was completely wrong. And what I've done to some people is not very forgivable. And it's not that I was always set out to just ruin them, but I, in some ways, didn't even mean to. Um, I subconsciously put myself in positions that would hurt somebody that I may not have particularly liked. And it's ended up in me losing some close people to me. And I know that I can't be forgiven for it. Um, and it's not like I killed somebody. It's not like I did something terrible. But I know that the damage that I've caused is something that has happened to me, and I never wanted to put that feeling on somebody else because I know how much it sucks and how hard it is to get over this particular person especially. Um and now that time has passed and the anger that I once had for this person is gone, I realize that I did some fucked up shit that I shouldn't have done. And I mean, in the moment when I was doing it, it felt fine. Like it wasn't like I felt like I was doing something terrible. It just seemed like I was like getting back. Um when the best way to get back at somebody is by doing nothing. The best revenge is to ignore what they're doing and move on and show them that you don't care. And that's a part of growing up. Growing up is realizing that everybody else's problems aren't yours and that maybe somebody wronged you, but that has nothing to do with you and it should end there. And the best way to get back at them is to do better than them, you know? I miss when I was younger. I miss when I was like 7 years old when people's opinions didn't matter and I could just be a kid and not worry about what people thought of me and what I was doing. And through when I was like 10 to like 15, I really cared what people thought about me, like an unhealthy amount. Everything I did was to try and impress somebody. And only recently has that like kind of gone away because I don't really care what people think. and I'm not trying to impress everybody because I don't need to impress anybody. But for a long time, I thought I did. I thought I had to impress everybody so that they would like me. I had to be better at something for somebody to like me. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're good at. It's if you're a likable person and if you're a good person, people will like you. And I guess in a sense, I missed that aspect of just being a good person. And it's not like I was a bad person. It's not like I did a bunch of bad things, but I definitely could be better. And it took me a long time to realize that I just need to be the bigger person in every situation and not just retaliate, because every time I retaliate from somebody doing something to me, it seems like that just kind of backfires every time and it gets people to just keep hurting you and thinking that you're a bad person when you're not on the inside. Um, I through freshman and sophomore year, I got really hurt by everybody, like literally everybody, all of my friends, my girlfriend, my best friends, my acquaintances. All of them took advantage of me being nice and me being myself, and they all walked all over me and then pretended to be my friend for I don't even know what gain, but they pretended to be my friend and then they would talk shit about me behind my back. And it hurt me. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And I mean, a lot of what I was doing wrong was I was always just trying to be funny. I was always trying to impress them. I was always trying to do something. Sometimes I'd wear a tank top to show off my muscles to, you know, impress them because I had been working so hard. I would always talk about my tests and my grades, and they'd all be failing, and I'd be like, "Oh, well, look at me! I've got all A's." And it's like now I see that I just looked like an asshole. Although I thought I was just impressing people, and I would always like crack jokes all the time. It's like at the end of the day, they saw me as an asshole, and I see why. Like having somebody compare themselves to you when you're failing at something, it hurts and it's draining and it hurts to be around somebody like that. And I completely understand that. And I have grown to acknowledge the fact that I don't need to be better than everybody else because I'm my own person and I don't need to be like them. I don't need to be better than them at something. I can do my own things and be content with that. And nobody has to be impressed with anything that I do. And I've stopped hating everybody for the way that they've acted towards me because I'm the reason that they do that. I did that and I should have seen sooner. And some people don't like me just cuz they heard stuff about me, which just isn't true a lot of the time. Um and not a lot of people actually know who I am. And in a sense, I do that as a defense mechanism because I don't want to let anybody in. I don't want anybody to know who I am because every time that I do, they either leave or they either use it against me. And the only people that I ever share a really true side with is people that I love. And anytime it's like a really close friend or just a friend, like if I just have a regular friend and I have a deep talk with them, they don't know how to take it. A lot of the time, people don't know how to take me. There's a lot of this outside joking, and then as soon as they actually hear me talk, it's like, who am I talking to? Like, I don't like this person all of a sudden. Like, they don't like when I'm real. People don't understand me. And I don't want to sound like I'm just this quirky guy that nobody understands. It's like people just actually do not understand me. People don't understand my mindset. Don't Nobody understands how I can actually just be a good person. Like, they always think there's a catch to it. And so everyone stays back and just thinks low of me. And it's like people want to put me against like really bad guys. And it's like my generation actually kind of fucking sucks. The men in my generation, or the boys in my generation, because none of them are men, suck. They just fucking suck. And I'm put into this category, and everyone just believes what another person says because, well, that's the average dude for you. And then they put a label on me. They put me as this terrible person. And it's like the only people that ever see the actual good side of me is the girlfriend that I have that I truly love. And it's hard because then that means nobody really sees it except one person at a time. And when I either break up or get broken up with that person, they hold that against me and then they spout lies about me, or they talk about the things that I'm not perfect in, or how I treated them so poorly somehow. When every time I actually truly love somebody, I treat them like they're everything. Like, I give everything for them. And that's not average guy behavior, I guess. And it's like, I do understand that. Like, that's really soft of me to do. And as a guy, you got to be so tough and you got to be strong and you got to be like all this. And it's like, well, as soon as I get ooey gooey with somebody, it'll end and then it'll be my fault and it'll be like I'm the bad guy. And it's like I never did anything wrong. Um, but I've always tried still, like, staying myself, still staying a nice guy overall, you know? I mean, yes, there's things that I shouldn't do, and there's things that I shouldn't have done, um, and it was out of hatred, but I am forgiving, and I have forgiven anybody who's done me wrong, and I know I have not been forgiven, and I don't expect to be forgiven for everything. But there's some things that I'm just righting right now. I'm righting my wrongs, and that hurts a lot of people in the process because people are finding out things that I did, and then they think I'm an asshole, but they have a right to know what I did because the person that I'm talking about did not know. They didn't know what I did, and they had a right to know because the person that they were with that was keeping this secret from them didn't deserve them, because I know that the person who got hurt is a lot better of a person than the person keeping the secret. And the person keeping the secret didn't deserve somebody like that. And at first I hated the person that I did wrong. I there was a whole thing that happened and I hated him for it. And then I did what I did, and I realized that I'm the worst version of what he did to me. I did something worse, and I shouldn't have responded in that way because I completely ruined something for him, and he won't be able to recover from that fully like I haven't. And I never wanted to put somebody in that position like they did to me, and I did it anyway. And I'm really sorry for that. And I wish I could take it back, honestly. I wish I could go back and not be so dumb and naive, to be honest. And these problems still happen with this person. They cause problems. The secret keeper, they cause problems. And they're a prominent person in my life that I don't want in my life, but they find ways back into it. Um, and unfortunately, I go to school with them, so it's kinda hard to get away from them. But, um, I'm sorry to the people that I've wronged in any way, really. All of the true wrongings, that is, because a lot of people say that I wronged them and I actually didn't do anything to them. Um, but I'm trying to grow as a person. And so now that all of this time is passing, I'm taking the time now to apologize and to grow from the person that I was, whether that be the person who I was a week ago or the person I was 2 years ago. I'm growing and I'm becoming a different person and I'm trying to become the best version of myself one day at a time. Um, and it's kind of scary that in such a short amount of time, I've done so much wronging and so much self um sabotaging, and it's taken me so long to realize what it was people actually didn't like about me. And I mean, maybe it was my looks. Maybe it was, something completely unrelated to what I think. But whatever it is, I want to fix it. And obviously, like the looks part, I don't really care. If people really don't like me based on my looks, then that's them. They're judging a book by their cover, and that's just on them. Like that's not my fault. That's not something that I can completely control other than my hair. Like that is what I can control. But how my face looks isn't really up to me. Um, how people take my jokes isn't really up to me. And I'm not gonna be sorry for my jokes. I know a lot of my jokes, they're sexist. And girls specifically don't really like that. And I get why they don't. I get why someone would kind of start taking me seriously after so many jokes. Um, but I mean, a lot of girls have joked about my sexuality. A lot of girls think I'm gay, and I don't know why. I've only dated girls. Sorry for the voice crack. I've only dated women. I've only done things with women, and I've never showed any interest in men. And they've all called me the F slur. I mean, seriously, straight homophobia F slurs. And then they get mad at me for making a sexist joke. Maybe you're just a man hater. Maybe. But I'm not going to put that label on you. I am talking about a person you wouldn't know. I know, not somebody I've been in a relationship with, so don't even think it's her. But some girls and dudes mostly like me, and that sounds really fucking gay. And now I see why girls call me that. But lots of guys like to be friends with me, but like don't take me as seriously as girls do, if that makes sense. Like guys are more chill with me than girls are. And I get that I can come off strong. And you know what? Sometimes I come off as I'm flirting, which is a big bad thing that girls that I know do is they accidentally flirt, and that's me. Like I'm not always trying to flirt, which I don't give out compliments normally, but I'll joke around a lot with like girls, and I'm mostly friends with girls, although guys think I'm chill more. I'm mostly friends with girls because I grew up with women. I grew up with a single mother. I did have a male figure, so don't I'm not gay. I had my grandfather who was a very stern man, old visions. And so maybe some of my views are outdated. Um, you know, but I definitely don't think women shouldn't have rights. Like I think women should have abortions. Like there's certain things that I support women in, and people just think I'm a woman hater. And it's like I date women. I love women. Like, I grew up around women. And this isn't I know this video is now coming to be like, "Oh, I'm not a bad guy. I love women." Um, but that's why a lot of people don't like me, is because they think I'm just disrespectful towards women. It's like I try to be as respectful as I can, and the jokes that I tell to women that are sexist, I thought could take it. I thought they could take a sexist joke after making a sexuality joke. How can you question my sexuality and then not be able to take a joke directed at your gender when mine is directed towards my sexuality? You know? Or you call me an F slur and I just say, "Go back to the kitchen." I mean, seriously, I mean, it's an obvious joke. I don't actually mean for a woman to go back to the kitchen. Do I believe that I want my wife to stay home and take care of my kids and cook me dinner? Yeah, but I'm working my ass off. So, I'm going to be the worker. My goal in life is to be able to support a family and have my wife not have to work. I would expect my wife to clean the house, take care of my kids, and have dinner ready for me when I come home, but also to spend time with me and to love me, and I would love her, and I would support her, and I'd give her money, not as like a weird but like in an allowance thing, how my parents do it. Well, used to do it, then my mom got a job. But, I mean, my stepdad, he made enough money at one point and still does, but my mom decided to get a job. Makes enough money to support the 4 of us, me, my mom, my himself, and my stepbrother. Support all of us, and my mom didn't have to work for a while, and he just gave her some money to get herself some stuff for, you know, for her wifely duties. I don't really mean that, but like cleaning the house. And you know what? If it was the other way around, if my wife is providing for me and is the breadwinner, shit, I'm cleaning the fucking house. Shit, I'm taking care of the kids. I'll cook you dinner. I'll learn how to cook. I'll take care of everything. I'll feed the animals. I'll do everything. And so why wouldn't I expect that from somebody else, you know? And it's not like I want my wife to do everything or like whatever people think I want, but there's two different roles and I want somebody to fill the other role. Um I just want to be able to take care of my wife and her take care of me in other ways. I'll take care of her financially and she'll take care of me physically, literally. And I don't mean sexually. I literally just mean like living wise. Um and to raise kids together. But sorry that it's gone to my views on women and shit like that. But growing up is scary as fuck. Growing up to actually take care of kids, it's fucking scary, dude. I've tried setting something up for my life and it's actually not working. I tried applying to Home Depot for a sales associate position and they were full. It didn't work out. And my goal, this is my plan for growing up. Is right now I work at a grocery store. So I just sell shit. I just fucking scan. I'm a cashier. Okay. My plan is at 18, I go to Home Depot and I manage the selling. I manage the what we're buying to sell, buy it at a certain price, sell it at a different price, sell it to people, have people sell it for me, like manage the selling and buying, right? And then what my stepdad does is he works in sales, and that would give me sales experience and to learn about certain parts, um, in like housing and stuff like that, because that's Home Depot, and that's what my dad he sells like parts for like cars and shit like that, and like bolts, nuts, like different types of things that I would need to know about. Um, and so I'd get my experience there, go there, and he earns around $200,000 a year. Um, so he makes a good amount, but it's off of commission. So I would have to build my commission, but through the cashiering and I have learned, respect and how to greet somebody, how to have a conversation, how to make jokes and really tie somebody in. Um, and so just have that experience to be able to make 200 grand a year and support 1 to 2 kids and my wife. And maybe even more. I mean, he really is just it he only makes 200 grand a year because of how much he sells. He could sell more and that would mean more money. Um so I do want to be a working man and to support a family. And that's my growing, and I also want to be there for my kids. And the job that he has actually makes him very available. It depends on what you do. I mean, it's commission, so if you sell, you make it. Obviously, he gets like a 20% cut, which is actually kind of crazy. But I am scared that I can't make that there. I can't make it all the way to, his job, which I most likely will. Like, I think I will be set up fine for it. Um, but it's kind of crazy that I'm actually kind of close to it. I've only got 2 years until I can get the position at Home Depot. And then after a year or two, I can actually go into that job when I'm like 20, 21. you know? And I plan on living with my parents till I'm like 20, 22. And that's what my parents want me to do. Cause when I'm 18, I'm not gonna be entirely broke, but I'm not gonna have enough money to fucking do whatever the fuck I want. I'm not gonna have enough money to move out and buy a house and support my wife and kids. Like, I need to have a solid footing. And then once I'm like 24, like I want to move out when I'm 22 into a house. And then I want to start a family by the time I'm 24. Um, and I really want to raise kids to be the best that they can. And, I feel like I'd be a really good dad, and I've always wanted to be a dad. Obviously, I know I'm too young. I wouldn't want to be a dad now. It would kind of fucking suck to raise a kid right now. Um, but I think, I am mentally stable. And I think I'm mentally ready for a kid, but at the stage of life that I'm at right now in career wise, like job wise and where I'm living and everything, it just wouldn't work. And I'm 16, so I can't really have a kid. You know what I mean? Um, but I would love to raise a kid. I've always loved kids and not in a diddy way, so don't even. But, you know, I want to grow with somebody, but kind of scary. Anyways, whatever you took away from this, I hope it was positive. I know I talked a lot about me and my views on women, and I unfortunately went there, but that's where I went to kind of protect my image to people who see this, but I know it doesn't really matter to you. You don't care about me. You don't know me. It's parasocial. But I hope the takeaway was good in that it was to use the time that you have now to grow, set a plan for yourself, and grow as a person every day, one day at a time, become better. All right. Succeeding is becoming better than you were tomorrow. by 1%, any percent. You know what? 1% a day is 100% in 100 days. You could change yourself in like 2.5 months. No, 3.5 months. You could be a completely better person, 1% at a time, 1% a day. Just become better. That's my little rant, 30-minute rant. Not gonna edit this one, so have fun seeing me eat my fucking fingers. I don't feel like editing it for 3 hours again. To, dumb it down to fucking 20 minutes. So, love you all, guys. God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. Keep growing. Keep becoming a better person. Don't treat women poorly. Don't treat yourself poorly. Don't treat men poorly. Don't categorize people into one way because that's just not everybody. Love you all. God loves you all. Jesus loves you all. Peace out, guys.